Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. You're very welcome to the programme. And where we find ourselves today is BANGOR Abbey in County Down. And you can see the Abbey there, and also you can see the BANGOR bell, or at least a replica of it. It wasn't that size, it was a handbell. And I have a wee story here I want to tell you from the time of the American War for Independence. Now, the Amazon was a 14-cannon privateer ship which was commissioned to fight the enemies of the country by the authority of the government here. Now, in 1779, the ship had been famously involved in a naval battle with an American privateer off the coast of Bangor, which caused a considerable stir in the local papers during that time. And of course, this was during the American War for Independence, 1775 till 1783. Now, the Amazon was wrecked not in that year, but actually in the year following during a storm, which I will talk a wee bit about shortly. But we actually have the cannon here, one of the cannon of the Amazon ship. So this is one of the 14 cannons that were on the ship. So this is amazing, isn't it? Wee bit of history here from the time of the Revolution, the American Revolution, here in BANGOR Abbey. Absolutely fantastic. So it says here, this cannon comes from the Ulster privateer, the Amazon, which was wrecked in Ballyholme Bay on the 23rd of February 1780. And then it says, with the loss of all hands. The cannon was subsequently salvaged by James Dorset Rose Cleland, Esquire, Lord Lieutenant for County Down, outside whose seat, Rathgale House, this gun remained mounted for many years before being presented to BANGOR Abbey. And it says there also, the plaque is presented by Mrs. Dorothy Cutham and Mr. Desmond D. Sylvia, descendants of Mr. Rose Cleland. So isn't that amazing? Great to have this wee piece of history here. Don't worry, it's not loaded. But back in the day it was. So I'm also able to show you James Dorset Rose Cleland's grave. So that's where I'm going to take you now, because he's buried here in the Abbey grounds. So one of the ship's cannon was actually acquired by the Lord Lieutenant for County Down, James Dorset Rose Cleland of Rathgale House, which is the cannon that we have just been looking at. And as the sign says, it actually sat outside the house, Rathgale House, for many years before being presented here to the Abbey. And unfortunately, Rathgale House is no longer with us. So we're going to go in through the gate here, and I'll take you to James's grave. Done a number of videos in here. So James Cleland was born in 1767 and he died in 1852. He was a relation of Sir William Wallace, and also during the 1798 rebellion here in Ireland, he was the commander of the Rathgale Yeomanry. And the Rathgale Yeomanry drum is actually in the minister's office in the church. And I've actually done a couple of videos on that drum. So in addition to the cannon and James Dossett's grave. We also have the grave of the captain of the Amazon. But before I show you his grave, I'm going to show you James Dossett Rose Cleland's grave. This is the burial plot here, and I've covered this before when I've done a video of the 1798 rebellion and their connection to William Wallace. So this is the grave here of James Rossett Rose Cleland, and it says erected by Elizabeth Rose Cleland, that was his wife, in memory of her husband James Dosset Rose Cleland, JP, Justice of the Peace. And it says there, Rathgale House, Bangor, who died 25th of September 1852, aged 85 years. And also their eldest son. And then it goes down. Also the above Elizabeth Rose Cleland, that's his wife, who died at Redford House, Moy, 5th of April 1891, aged 80 years. So that's the Cleland's grave there, James and his wife and their family. James Dosset Rose Cleland. And it was at their house, Rathgale House, that the cannon actually sat for a good number of years. But as I say, in addition to the cannon and to James's grave there, we also actually have the grave of the captain of the Amazon, Captain George Colville, Captain George Colville. And so he's buried here as well. And actually on his tombstone is an anchor and cannons and various other seafaring stuff with inscriptions. Now, Captain Colville lost his life during a fierce storm in Ballyholme Bay in Bangor on the 25th of February 1780, in which the ship, the Amazon, was actually wrecked. And so it was from that ship then that James Dosset Rose Cleland was able to get that cannon that I showed you. So big connection here with the American Civil War, the American War for Independence, and the Amazon, because the Amazon fought one of the American privateers during the War for Independence. And quite incredible, isn't it, to think that this is remembered in this parish church graveyard. Absolutely fantastic. What you have to realise is that graveyards are like open air history museums, because they are packed, jam-packed with history. So this is the grave here of the captain, and it's actually, if you can see that there, it's got the wee emblems that I told you about. There's an anchor, there's a couple of cannon of the ship, the Amazon, and then there's a couple of few other wee things there. That's like a sand timer, and that gives you the description of what happened to ship. So if you want to read that out, you can pause the video, but I'll read the bottom part out for you here. It says, Captain George Colville of the private ship of war Amazon, and only son, F, of course, in the 18th century was for S, strangely enough, but it says son of, I can't make the first name out, but it's Colville of Bangor, and it was wrecked near this ground 25th February 1780 in the 29th year of his age. Or he died, I think that is, sorry. No, it was wrecked. That's what it says. Wrecked near this ground. 25th of February 1780 in the year 29th of his age. So it's a wee bit down to the sea. It's not just as close as that grave would make out, but certainly fantastic to have this, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. So there you go, that's Captain Coville's grave of the Amazon, and he's buried here in the parish church, and just the other side of the wall then is the cannon from the Amazon, and just around the other side of the church is James Dossett Rose Cleland, his grave, and of course the cannon sat outside his house, Rathgale House, for many years before it was given to the parish here. So thanks for watching, and God bless.